In this piece of work, I'm working on a character that I found from a manga. As I'm working on the design, I'm trying to get this to look the most and really have an eye-popping feature about this. It's interesting when you're taking something like this and giving it more of a eye-popping vision, bringing it through to a 3D realm from its original state and making it show in that fashion, having it to look that much better in its dimensions. As you're working on your craft, you really get the feel to go into more of a newer escape and bringing it out more, really upgrading the levels and etching up your detail to bring it to what you feel you can rise your new levels and really getting it there. In today's model, I'm really getting in the creases, getting in the jacket design, and really bringing out this form, and especially the muscle form and the stand pose. Really getting it to have that good look about it. Sometimes in starting your projects is really how much your vision and that force you might feel, that gut feeling that's making you create something new in order to bring it to a higher plateau, making it look harder and even much different to get to, using your inspirations to rise you to a new point and adding your extra element to it. What tends to make things interesting is how you go about bringing your works to different approaches, kind of getting in between the details, the sides, and doing different things to get to your means. Defining your definitions to get to the results that you want to get while you're working on it. It's interesting when you're creating something in this program, you can change your pressure from harder to softer and get those many different variety of effects that you can get while you're creating something, adding to the whole picture once the process is already done. And that definition you add to it also adds on the factors when you bring it to different tones, different BPRs, and things like that, getting your results finalized. In this, I'll bring out a few pointers. Attention to detail is real necessary when working on stuff like this. It helps out and brings more of a good, really good look to it. And it's many shades when you try it and see for yourself how it looks in different lights. It even stands out that much more sometimes. Whether you get your OC or whether you use different metallic luster effects afterwards, when whatever you do with it, it starts to stand out that much more. Whether you're working on machines or other designs or things with your different type of details that you want, you can also use programs like Keyshot or Substance Painter. Really good stuff. I've seen some really good stuff from people out on the site, on YouTube, and other works I've seen on the net. Pretty good stuff out there. You might find that in your works, more time spent on something breathes more life into the works that you're creating. It gives us feel like, for instance, you turn this character into more of a real person, given that look, that level that it didn't have before, and thus bringing it out in different ways, in more interesting ways. And it's real amazing how you get that depth when you're messing with the features. And more comes out, the more you learn, the more you start to see your stuff looking real realistic and real. It's like this unknown element comes into effect and just breaks those boundaries, Like you just lose yourself in working on the muscles, the details, different factors, different parts, and you start to get caught up in it. And it really keeps you going when you're working on that, making it more like what you want it to be like at the end. while at the same time you're making sure your proportions and everything else is in place. For people out there that's working on stuff and they're trying to find good time, I would say if it's good enough, you can probably start in the morning or early morning. It depends, when you wake up, how you feel about it at the time. That could play a part in the factor of how you get stuff done. Sometimes, you might lack time to do this kind of stuff more than somebody else. That doesn't mean you can't make the time to create your stuff and keep on going with it. And to make it easy for you, you can lay out your saves so that when you get back to it, you know what you're gonna pretty much finish on, what you're gonna do with it afterwards. Sometimes that train of thought changes after a while too, and sometimes that feel is a little bit gone. Maybe you could look at the images and references you might have drawn before that to get it right and to finally finalize it. So maybe at certain points in time, it might be good to bulk up on that time when you have the time, when you see it possible. Man, I feel like with the stuff out there, possibilities are limitless. I mean, sometimes people come up and say, "Oh, this has been done already," or something else has been done already. Like, no, I mean, there's always the next shape, the next feature, something that you could still use as a cool feature in creating something. It's not like that's gonna ever draft out. If they're telling you that, they're lying. So there's always that potential for something new to come out. Really, really, it's always out there and inside too. Shoot, you just never know. You might have something that might inspire a new form that's like right under your nose in some book or something. You know, Sometimes you never know those things work that way. And maybe some sci-fi figment or something new that came across you and you're like, wouldn't this be cool if it was done slightly another way? I mean, there's many different factors to creating stuff. Cause shoot, you ever look at something in some new movie or something else and you're like, darn, I could have thought of something like that. I could have brought this out too. It's like there it goes. If you don't use something, somebody else will. And that's the truth right there. More of the story, just keep thinking and keep it up. I know some sparks will be flashing out there. See you soon. Peace.